From the Ron Miller Race Car Studio, this is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report. Big show for you tonight, show number 69.
Hard to believe, Scott. It's that much fun.
Yes. What you said.
Yeah.
Lots to cover on the show. We have Duane Hancock, also Tyler Perry with us. Got a bunch of racing series, regional racing series, I guess you could say, that we're going to talk about tonight.
Kind of big deal series, too, for regional series.
Yeah. Well, that pavement and dirt, we're covering everything tonight. Hoserville, Ohio auction coming up at the Woodland Mall Car Show in March, so we'll be talking about that as well. Lots of racing news, and lots of racing going on. There is,
as long as you're south of here.
Yeah.
North of here.
Not so
tried.
Well,
they tried.
Yeah, last weekend was fun. We'll talk about that in a minute.
We will,
well.
yeah. It was a very expensive weekend.
And yet you got to pay for the Ron Miller Race Car Studios, right?
Yeah.
Right. We're, I don't know, I forgot to look. We were approaching 1,300 likes on Facebook, so it was going. We had a lot of people, I think new people from Michigan
tuning in last week with Gene Hendrickson.
Well, that and from the video that we put up from the race, the Whiteout 100 at Mid-Michigan Raceway Park.
A.K.A. the Soup Bowl.
Yeah, we'll talk, yeah. Lots of fun there. You can listen to the Hammer Down Racing Report on iHeartRadio, Google Play Music, or podcasts, whichever you prefer to call that, iTunes, and as of last week after the show, I decided to create a YouTube channel for us. So our videos will be available on YouTube as well, because if you don't have Facebook, then you probably have YouTube. Really makes no sense. I know.
Everybody has YouTube. Yeah, everybody can do that.
Just trying to make it as accessible as possible.
There you go.
And they can see our beautiful faces on YouTube.
Yeah, and Facebook. Then
they told me I had a face for radio. Now you're showing it.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be scared.
Unfortunately, the way things work. You can get to our YouTube channel and all those other ways to listen to us by visiting HammerdownRacingReport.com. You can also buy official shirts and stuff. Nobody's bought anything really that I know of.
Hammer Down swag.
What the heck?
Well, we're getting really close to Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Speaking of which, nothing says I love you like a brand new set of tires, right?
From Ron Miller Race Cars.
Yes.
Yep.
Forgot to throw that part in there.
You can tell we're sitting amongst racers.
He does gift cards. What else? Anything that's popular this year for Valentine's
You know what's really been big lately is advice.
Really?
Yeah.
And how much are you making off of that? Giving away that advice?
A lot of customer goodwill and repeat customer sales.
Well, all right.
It really works.
I still need to get my car in there.
Yeah, we enjoy helping out the guys that are just getting started.
And you do, like me, you helped me out. I had no idea what I'm doing. I still don't know what I'm doing.
And you've been racing, 12 years now?
Well, I guess it's been 5. Wow. This is old school to me now.
Feels like 12.
I should be better than I am, I think. Give Ron Miller a call, 734-856-7223. That's 856-RACE.
Here's a tip for you, Scott.
Is this free? Do I have to pay for it?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep.
Speed costs money?
Speed costs money. How fast do you want to go?
That's right. As fast as I can afford. As long as it gets me around in a circle.
Scott, with a voice and a face like yours, you ought to have sponsors just all over the place.
I know. I got them beating down my door.
Should be.
Constantly.
It's like everybody else, right?
That's right.
That's right. So anyways, last weekend, went up to Mid-Michigan Raceway Park. Decided to do that the last minute, and
free ride.
Free ride up there. That was a little scary.
I was going to ask you about that.
Scary on the way back, but on the way up, you were following us and did not quite make it. And this is the second time that you've been on your way up there and have not made it, right?
Yeah, last year we hurt the engine in the dually. That one cost me $5,000. This time the starter went out. That was another $300. Plus laying in 3 inches of slush for nearly 3 hours, changing the starter on my back.
Well, you made it to Lansing. I think that's where we were.
Yeah,
we at that gas station in Lansing.
Right.
You mean they didn't turn around and see where you went?
No, we were there. We waited for a while. And then Steve's like...
And I said, you guys, you better go ahead. I'm thinking this might take a while.
Scott. They didn't start on time. You probably could have made it.
Scott, I was so wet. I was shaking uncontrollably. I was so cold. We turned out of the parking lot. Turned out of the parking lot, and I had a choice of turning left or right. Left was south. I chose heading back south.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, you missed out on some fun.
Heat in the truck cranked up to 80 degrees, and heated seat on all the way home, and I finally quit shaking by the time we got there.
Well, you missed some fun at the track. It was a little snow-covered when we got there. It was the first time I've been to a dirt track race in winter with snow, and there was lots of snow up there.
Well, but
they had plowed everything.
But, Gene, depends on a frost being in the ground.
Yeah, there was a little bit. I mean, otherwise it would have got real bad.
We had the bitter cold, so there was a heavy frost, and it got warm. They got a couple inches of snow.
It got warm,
and they plowed that.
If you saw the video, once the races started, the snow melted. And the dirt kind of mixed in with it,
and the snow had nowhere to go.
No, underneath was frozen, I believe. So it was just like a layer of
stuff.
Yes, not pleasant looking stuff.
Oh yeah, I seen the video. That was
one of my good one of my good customers called me while we were on our way back south, and he said, "What are you doing? It looks like you're having rooster tail races, but I can't tell which car is which. Which one is yours?"
It was a little difficult, yeah. They were all brown.
Yeah.
But in Steve's race, at least, the open, they only had 3 cars. They had the 2 late models with the sideboard.
With the boards, yep.
Which looked very similar. But I think the helmets were about the only thing that was not totally covered in mud, so you could tell the different colored helmets because they didn't have the roofs on. And then there was the street stock in there, and he was doing pretty good.
I'm telling you, I thought that guy could win.
Yeah.
Had he played his cards a little differently, he would have driven away from those 2 cars because they were on wide tires on a soupy, sloppy track, and he had just little narrow DOT tires, and
it was different.
Yeah.
It was different than the hangover race at Sandusky.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I'd go back. I was kind of jealous. I wish I had my car there.
Well, we can make that arrangement next year.
I'm thinking about it.
I'm not towing you up there, though.
Did notice there were a lot of guys with windshields, which were at a great disadvantage due to the track conditions.
Oh, I bet.
Well, my son said that when he was behind that other car, he went totally blind.
Yeah, he ran out of tear off.
Pulled his tear off, used his glove.
So even without a windshield, you're still got issues.
Used his glove to try to wipe the shield.
Well, the guys with the windshields were cutting holes in them and pulling them out. Somebody showed up with some just cars off the street, spray painted a number on the side of it, and I think it was like a Honda Accord or something, or a Civic, I don't know. He busted out the glass windshield, so there's 2 holes. He had a passenger with him too, so they could see.
There you go.
And some of them
navigator.
Why didn't we do that?
Well, I suppose
we should next year.
I suppose in that race, somebody in the passenger seat could help. Turn left.
A lot of the cars had windshield wipers. The guy that was pitted next to us, he learned from his heat race that he didn't have any window washer fluid, but his windshield wipers worked, so he got a bunch of bags of snow, and then he would just throw it out the window with the windshield wiper, so he was good to go.
Sounds like
should have just took a 30-pack with him.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun up there.
Not from where I was sitting.
And the free food was good.
Yeah, I'm sure not.
Well, you were laying in the snow.
No, I think I mentioned before the show that I have spent nearly $6,000 trying to get to that race and haven't made it any farther than Lansing.
Are you going to make it next year?
Probably.
Third time's a charm, right?
He's not going to quit trying.
Next year it might be up to $9,000.
Yeah.
I'm sure what you'll win if you actually get there and win will offset that,
I think,
immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Schaefer won again on Friday night at Bubba Raceway Park down in Florida for some All-Star Circuit of Champion action. But Tony Stewart was the winner on Saturday night.
Tony Stewart cleaned house. Quick time, won his heat, won the dash, won the feature.
Yeah.
Tony Stewart was... I don't know.
He knows how to drive a race car? What?
It was very unstewardish lately.
Stewardish.
Yeah, he's been running good all season so far.
All-Stars then moved over to Volusia County Speedway.
Let's go back to Tony real quick.
Okay, go.
Do you know right offhand Did he put the new Ford motor in his car?
Not yet.
I don't think they implemented that.
It's close. It was on the dyno 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I didn't know if he had it
Not
in for
yet.
down there.
I don't
But
think
it's
they've
gonna be-
implemented that program into the actual race
And
cars.
I
it's
know
close.
that if anybody had the new Ford motor, it would be
They're supposed to
towing.
have it here soon.
Okay.
Soon, because they've done the dyno, and I've seen some video actually of it on the dyno. So
I've heard they're really pleased.
Yeah, they're
with
real
it so far.
close. They're real close to. Supposedly it's going to be in Schatz' car here soon.
It'll probably blow up like the rest of the Fords.
What brand was your truck?
Ain't saying much, is it?
Oh, boy. Board of Outlaws will then be at Volusia County. What is today, 7th? So,
Yes.
tomorrow night.
Yep,
tomorrow and
tomorrow.
Saturday night. Dirt Car Nationals. I don't know why I have a weird note there. 91 Dirt Car UMP Modifieds were on hand at the opening night of the Dirt Car Nationals on Tuesday night. It's a lot. They had more last night. Michael Long overtook Nick Hoffman with 8 laps to go to win Tuesday. Last night, the All-Stars were there. Shane Stewart's was the winner last night for the All-Star. And Taylor Cook, former guest of the show, passed Nick Hoffman again. Poor Nick Hoffman. I kind of feel bad for him. He got passed on the white flag lap to win last night in the Modifieds with Roman coming in third, Brian Roman.
Yes, sir. If you know anybody that has dirt on dirt, just fast forward and catch the last 5 or 6 laps. Really great racing.
That's what I heard. I need to get dirt on dirt, apparently. We need to get them as an advertiser. Maybe we can do a
There
trade.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tyler Erb made an impressive debut and is in the Best Performance Motorsports #1, winning the Lucas Oil Late Model Series opener that started Friday night and I guess finished Saturday afternoon due to some rain. And then Earl Pearson Jr. was the winner later Saturday evening at Golden Isle Speedway. Series moved to East Bay Speedway on Monday with racing all week long. Tyler Erb notched a couple more wins Monday and Tuesday. Jonathan Davenport came out on top of some great racing action on Wednesday night over Tyler Erb and Josh Richards. Rusty Schlank's down there racing with those guys. He's apparently had some issues with finding the setup.
Well, it's a new car, and Rusty likes to try things.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's not like Rocket with their XR1s where you've got 20 of them in the pits. Rusty doesn't. There's no notebook, so Rusty
are their own notebook.
Rusty is the notebook. Exactly right.
Well, and there's 50-some cars there that night. You miss it right away. You're done.
He put on. I don't know if you guys watched last night, but I think it might have been the Strawberry Dash or the B Main.
No, Strawberry Dash.
Yeah, Rusty. He put it on the bottom.
Second,
I mean, he passed like 4 or 5 cars in 2 laps or something. He was coming on the bottom.
Yes.
I was hoping he had a couple more laps. See what he could do, if he could take the win on that or not.
So that was his best finish of the week, I guess, so far, was finishing second in last night's Strawberry Dash.
Yeah.
Chuck Hummer, he was competing with those guys Monday and Tuesday, wasn't there last night.
Headed up towards Screven.
Yeah, getting ready for some World of Outlaws stuff.
And Hillard Miller's down there waiting to race, too.
That's what I was just going to say. Rumor has it that Hillard Miller was going to compete if he found the right tires.
Right, but he's going to race Volusia because they have a couple UMP shows. And that.
He'll be there with the late model or the modified?
Late model.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
His own car?
Yes, the 53 car.
Wow.
Yes.
You know, he retired about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They all do.
Never been foolish enough to do
Sammy
that, Scott.
retired too, right?
Yeah.
So the mentioned World of Outlaw Late Model Series scheduled to run Screven Speedway in Georgia tomorrow and Saturday for Winter Freeze 9. Other news here, Shady Bowl Asphalt Track has offered to pick up the Waynesfield Tough Truck class for 2019 with the same purse and rules.
Same purse, same rules.
So and I believe Lima Land tossed them a bone as well. Has a few
I think
dates
Gas
on their
City
schedule.
did too.
Did they? I didn't hear that.
Or Montpelier, one of the two. Might have been
Makes
Montpelier,
sense.
one of the two.
So they got some
That's
options. So that's
good
cool.
for those guys because
But-
they really felt left out in the cold.
Oh, yeah.
The thing
Bummed
that's
out.
a little strange, though, is that they'd be racing with the same rules on asphalt.
I don't know. I've seen some of the Fremont trucks run at Sandusky, and
You saw them?
I have seen them.
Oh, on New Year's Day?
Are they full-size trucks?
The Fremont
Fremont
trucks,
ones,
yeah.
Yeah,
These are the 4 cylinders,
Yeah,
though, at
4
Waynesville.
cylinders.
Right.
So, I mean, basically, maybe a different tire would be. I don't know if if they'd even have to change tire.
I wonder if they have a regular 4-cylinder class at Shady Bowl.
They used to. I'm sure they still do.
Probably a 4-cylinder front-wheel drive. Everybody has those.
Well, Shady Bowl ain't that far from Waynesfield, so it'd be perfect for those guys.
If they jump across the line. Across the county.
NASCAR announced earlier this week a change in their post-race inspection procedure. That includes post-race inspection immediately following the race at the racetrack, and cars that fail post-race inspection will be disqualified, resulting in a last-place finish.
Immediately.
Yeah.
No Tuesday take it to the tech center and announce.
No, you cheated, but you still get the win.
You still get an opportunity to correct your mistake.
Now if they find you illegal, you finish last, and they pass the trophy to the next guy.
Who's going to be the first one?
Like most tracks. Most local small tracks, if you're found illegal, you're disqualified, right?
Well, and
don't make weight.
Exactly.
Can't make the scale.
Most NASCAR fans go to some short tracks, and it's hard for them to understand the difference.
It's like, that guy cheated, but he still wins?
Yeah.
Huh? Slap his
Should have
hand
been that way
a
long time ago.
You know it's going to happen to somebody, though.
Probably whoever wins Daytona.
Happen. Maybe if Scott Bloomquist raced in NASCAR, would that... Yeah. Anyways.
Never mind.
Lucas Oil and World of Outlaw Late Model Series have outlawed tape visors used to block out the sun at track lights as well. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I thought that was weird. I came across that. They put you put tape in front to give you a little visor
across the bars.
Yeah, they said no more of that. Apparently,
why would you outlaw that?
I'm not sure. People are taking advantage of it. I'm not sure what advantage that really does for you. It's arrow. I'm sure it's giving you more downforce.
Oh yeah, that piece of tape's pretty
Scott,
sturdy.
I'll tell you what, and talking talking about arrow, and we've talked about that. I think it was Jonathan Davenport at one of the Golden Isle races, I think, but he said that he was running very well, came up behind somebody, and he got too close, and it took the air off his nose and caused him to push.
That sounds like NASCAR.
Huh?
Yeah, it did. A whole lot like NASCAR.
Well, yeah,
and this is in a dirt late model.
Yeah,
and I'm calling BS on that. I really am.
Look at the track, though. I mean, those guys, the other night, that track was hooked up. Those guys were flying around there.
Okay,
130
but in
miles
dirt
an
late
hour.
models, aero should not be that big of a deal.
Oh, yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. No, not at all.
Right.
I agree. And that goes back to the cost of racing in general. I mean, those guys are at the upper echelon spending how much money, and when smaller teams can't even think about competing.
That was a jaw-dropping moment, though, when he said, I pulled up behind somebody and it took the air off my nose, and it made me push, and I couldn't catch back up.
Maybe he was driving different.
That was a shake-your-head moment, Scott.
Okay.
Maybe it was a big wind gust.
Apparently, you haven't been going fast enough for that to happen to you. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that in a bad way.
Boy, why don't you kiss my ass, Scott?
How about we move on?
Moving right along.
General Tires inked a multi-year deal with NASCAR, making the tire manufacturer the official and exclusive tire supplier of the K&N Pro Series, the NASCAR Pinties Series, or is it Pinties? I had to look up what that was because I wasn't even sure. I've never heard of the NASCAR Pinties or Pinties. Apparently it's the Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Canadian
That's
series.
Canadian K&N pretty much, I think.
Yeah.
And the NASCAR Peak Mexico Series. So General Tire is the official tire for those series. And apparently they've been manufacturing stock car tires for ARCA since 1995. Well, never really paid attention to that.
No. You know who the parent company of Hoosier Tire is, don't you?
Is it General Tire?
Yes, sir.
Yes!
You win. You're back in the good graces.
Is this starting to make sense?
A little bit.
Now, if you remember, Hoosier Tire was on ARCA cars for a long time.
Oh, okay.
And all they did was change the plate in the
Hoosier
side
used
of
to
the
be
mold.
on NASCAR back in,
for
what was it,
Yeah.
80s?
Yeah.
Early 90s? Somewhere around
I would say early 90s, late 90s. Something.
Hoosier wanted them out of there, and the racers wanted them out, and they just kept making rules that said you had to bring enough tires for all the cars.
Right.
And
who were you talking about? ARCA?
Hoosier.
Oh.
No, Goodyear. I'm sorry, NASCAR.
Okay.
They said they had to bring enough tires to outfit every car for every tire change, and it just became economically unfeasible for Hoosier. You know, when you're selling tires to a third of the field, for you to have to bring enough tires for everybody.
I gotcha. That's right. They had both, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot
Yep.
about that.
Yeah.
Choose.
The racers didn't like that. So,
I can understand that. The racers or the tire manufacturers.
but with General's name on the tire and them making some inroads,
But they're exclusive. They're not sharing with Goodyear in these series.
right.
Right.
But they've got their foot back in the door with NASCAR, so it could be
Right.
interesting. It could come to a bidding
Could
war.
Hoosier come back?
It could.
Well, General.
Why
Yeah.
not Hoosier?
Well, they've
Politics.
changed. It's just a matter of what plate they put in the side of the mold.
All
And
right. You could draw on their
Ron Miller race cars.
yeah.
See?
That's it.
Ron Miller tires.
That's
There you
it.
go.
All right.
Which you can get for Valentine's Day really cheap right now.
4 of them.
Nice plug.
Nothing that says I love you like 4 tires.
You'll draw a heart on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of ARCA, the Lucas Oil 200 from Daytona will be on FS1 Saturday at 4:30. The Advanced Auto Parts Clash, the NASCAR race, will be at 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon at FS1 as well. And if you want to watch qualifying for the Daytona 500, that'll start at noon, right before the Clash. And that'll actually be on Fox.
On Sunday.
On Sunday, yes.
Yeah.
So,
What a deal.
yeah. My computer decided to restart and install updates for some reason.
Oh.
So I'm still catching up here. So
deal.
let's move on to our guests here in the studio with us tonight.
You didn't handle that breaking news from the Lucas
yeah.
Oil race.
I put
tonight.
that underneath it here and forgot about it.
Yeah.
We mentioned Mr. Bloomquist
breaking
a little
news.
bit ago. Yeah, this just announced at the drivers' meeting tonight. Lucas Oil Late Model Series is issuing a penalty for him. Apparently, from what I read, that this was for what happened Tuesday night. He ran his heat, and then Scott Bloomquist left the speedway,
He left the building.
and Mike Benedum.
Benedum,
Is that how you pronounce his name? He filled in the B main for him, and then Bloomquist took a provisional to start at the tail of the main event. Went on to finish last and collect $500 starting pay for the night. And then here's the official thing from Lucas Oil. Unbeknownst to series officials, Bloomquist was not piloting the number 0 during the 5 laps the car completed during the A main before retiring from the event. Bloomquist will face the following penalties and fines: disqualification from Tuesday's event, loss of TV Race Challenge points earned, earnings from Tuesday's event of $500 will be forfeited and paid to the next eligible provisional based on fast time. Mike Benedum, a $1,000 fine, suspension from Thursday night's program, and will face an indefinite probationary period. Sounds like Mike got hit harder than Bloomquist.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, somebody said, like Scott Bloomquist says, hey, you want to take my car out for the B main? You're not turning that opportunity down.
Well, and he has run Scott's backup car at a few events already this season.
Benedum has?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Uh-huh.
Somebody was in who was in his backup car? Was it at GIS Saturday?
I think so.
Who was in his? Somebody else was in his backup car. Then I don't remember who it was.
Ferguson, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
But she drives a Bloomquist car now, so. But maybe his pizza was ready or something. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he had a dinner date.
Yeah, why would he just leave?
What? Well, before you
Was there a drug test coming up or something?
Maybe he fell
I
off.
don't know. I'm just asking.
Maybe he fell off the trailer and hurt his leg or
his
something.
shoulder.
Yeah, a shoulder.
And then 2
Might
weeks
have been
later,
physical therapy
carries
time,
Rico
or
out on his shoulders.
had a steak dinner appointment is missing, or I'm not sure.
All right, in the studio with us tonight, we have Duane Hancock, Tyler Perry. Let's start with Tyler. We'll get to you, Duane.
that's fine.
Feel free to chime in.
I will.
You, I guess you work with Dave over at Bearfield.
ICAR, yep.
Okay.
Yep. Same thing.
Do you do
ICAR,
anything for Bearfield or?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I did a little bit towards the end of last year.
I'll start out this way. Tell us what you do.
What are your duties?
He don't even know.
Well, I'm
you-
kind of a PR guy. I'm kind of a promoter. I'm an announcer. Kind of. I try to announce.
Kind of.
There's a lot of kind of, a lot of gray area.
Well, I do a little bit of everything, honestly. I mean, I'm the relay guy between ICAR and all the series. You know, if guys have questions, they get a hold of me, and then I try to make sense of everything. Pretty much I do whatever I need to do to make things happen.
Okay.
So,
And you're
He's
based.
race director of the grocery getter.
kind of. Well, it ended up being that way. Yeah. Yeah. Fell into that.
So where are you based out of?
I live in Edgerton, Ohio.
Okay.
My family's raced since I can remember. I mean, I grew up in racing. My uncle was Stan Perry.
Really?
My cousin Bud races. My other cousin Jack Landis races. They both race Outlaws.
On pavement.
Yep. A lot of racing history in my family, and it's fun to kind of be on the other side of the fence now. I always wanted to work in racing.
Well,
and-
you're definitely doing it.
Yeah, I know.
You're working asphalt stuff, dirt stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The
Last
best
year,
part is we live 8 miles apart from each other.
me and Duane have known
And
each other for a long
we're
time.
doing all these series, all from Bryan and Edgerton, Ohio.
Yeah, Williams
and they're
County.
everywhere else, and they're like, "What are you guys doing?"
Williams County's a hot bead right now for all things racing in the tri-state, pretty much, between me and Duane.
Have you been to Bryan Motor Speedway when it used to run?
So I'm kind of salty about that subject because my grandpa used to live catty corner across the bridge.
Yeah.
Back in that edition.
I lived about a mile from the track.
Yeah, well, my dad, on the way to the racetrack, he's like, oh, he pull into Grandma and Grandpa's and drop me off and then go across the bridge and go to the racetrack. So I used to sit outside at night and listen to the cars until Grandma turned the outside light on, and that meant it was time for me to come inside and quit listening to race cars. So no, to answer your question,
All right.
I never got to experience it, but, well, not there, but I did get to experience it from half a mile away.
Yeah, and I was there a bunch. That was if we didn't go to Millstream, because we did a lot of USAC, followed USAC a lot. Then the All Stars when they came around, but if we wasn't like at Winchester or Millstream on a Sunday, we'd definitely be at Bryan watching all the locals.
I've been there a few times myself.
I know. I remember seeing
Where haven't you been?
Oh, Scott.
I think that list would be shorter.
Nah, probably.
Mid-Michigan.
Let's.
I've been there.
How many?
Just not for the whiteout.
How many different series are you involved in here?
The Main Event Outlaw Tour, the ICAR Allstar Modified Tour, SOD Sprints, CRS Sprints, Thunder Roadsters.
Oh, I don't have that one. That's a
Yeah, we don't have any. We just acquired that deal. We're still. There's a lot of work that needs to happen with that deal yet. And then the Indiana Dirt Kart Series. And then at Bearfield, there's 3 different racetracks, essentially. There's 2 pavement configurations, a quarter-mile dirt track inside of that, and then behind the main grandstand, there's a go-kart track.
Now, before we go any further, and I know Ron wants to ask this question.
I won't even. Go ahead.
Other than the Sprints on Dirt show at the end of the year, is there any other plans to have any dirt shows at Bearfield?
Nope. That deal was so Jim Lipke, who owned Bearfield for a lot of years, he told Dave that he wanted a race in his honor, so Dave said, all right, so we're going to do it up big at the end of the year and probably plant grass in it as soon as the race is done. It didn't work out. I mean, the asphalt surface over there is very porous, and it took entirely too much manpower to clean that track off, the asphalt track.
Because of the dust from the
You
dirt?
couldn't get it clean. I mean, it was kind of bad.
Just tear out the asphalt.
Yeah.
But let's.
If we could acquire a different pavement track that's in the local area, I would say let's do that.
I know which one he's talking about. I bet.
I only know of any of the other one.
Oh, there's some.
It's north. It's north of Bearfield.
That's the only one that I know of.
That's only 33 miles from my house. I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, that's probably the one. Yeah. So the Main Event Outlaw Tour. What? Tell us about that.
Love it.
Okay.
My favorite. I love Outlaws.
Outlaw
Obviously,
late
as we
models,
said,
right?
that. Yep.
Okay.
Just acquired this series last year from. You had Chris Mize in here a couple weeks ago. I was watching that show. We acquired this from him and Kevin Jaycox.
I didn't realize it was theirs.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I don't know if Mize actually had a vested interest, but he was a part of the whole deal, you know. So
I think he was series director.
yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't know if he had any ownership in it or not, but yeah. So we got that from those guys last year, and it was primarily an Ohio-based series, and we expanded it over to Indiana. A lot of Michigan shows. We're still working on an Ohio show. We're what we want to do is split it up. 4 shows Ohio, 4 shows Michigan, 4 shows Indiana.
How well received has the series been since you've changed some of the venues?
It's some of the Ohio fans are salty, and I get it. I mean, I'm in Ohio. I was born and raised in Ohio, still live there. We're working on getting it back to some Ohio tracks, but on the other hand, all the Michigan fans were stoked to have the main event back in Michigan.
Sure.
And the fans in Indiana the same. So we want to spread the love around to all the fans around the tri-state, and it's better for the series, it's better for the fans, it's better for everybody.
Are the drivers from all over? Are they from a certain area?
I mean, well, last year we had a show at Midvale Speedway, which is kind of on the east side of Ohio. We only brought 6 or 7 cars, kind of, from main event. Realistically, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, I mean, we get guys from all over. I talked to a couple guys from Canada that are planning on running some shows with us this year.
It's a good regional series, Scott.
We're working on getting some shows down south in the wintertime for next year. Not sure if anything's going to materialize, but we've already been in talks with some tracks down there. So,
is there anything locked in yet for 2019?
Oh, yeah. I have the schedule right here. We go to Berlin Raceway 3 times, Birch Run Speedway.
Before it's dirt.
What?
Berlin.
Yeah.
Never
Before
mind.
they put the dirt on it.
Oh, I got you. I don't think they're doing the dirt this year.
Yeah,
Really?
right now they don't have it on.
Pretty sure
I
they're
did not
not.
know that.
Yeah, right now they
I
don't
think
have
I
it on
just
their
saw
schedule.
something about that a couple weeks ago.
All right. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Takes too long to clean the asphalt.
They have all winter.
Yeah, we've heard that.
One of the cool shows that we got on the list this year that people are really looking forward to is Auto City. The main event hasn't been there in a long time, so that should be a pretty good one. Toledo Speedway. And then, which I think this might be the show of the year, Lucas Oil Raceway.
Oh, yeah.
Getting those big wedge cars out there, letting those babies wind up,
Let them eat.
putting 800 horsepower down the track, and she can use her all. So I'm excited for
You
that
might get an
show.
arrow push, though, if
Right.
somebody...
Oh, I'm sure they're going to get an arrow push on those cars. If they don't, they're out to lunch.
What's the date for the Toledo Speedway?
August 10th.
Okay.
Right now is what I have here on the
Is that a
schedule.
Friday night? Or is that a special?
No, that is. I believe it's a Saturday. I think it's the same show that we ran there last year.
Okay.
Yeah,
These papers right here are why I can't keep dates straight in my head. You got 17 schedules to work off of. It's hard to keep everything straight.
August 10th, Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's a split deal between main event and the Gold Cup series.
Gotcha.
So pretty cool to have an opportunity to do that with those guys again.
All right. Let's talk about the International Championship Auto Racing Allstar Modifieds, also known as ICAR Allstar Modifieds.
Yes, sir.
Now, you got a lot of stuff going on with that.
This class, this series has essentially exploded within the last 30 days. The promoter of the Hot Shoe 100 approached us down at Winchester and talked to him, and he's like, hey, you guys should look into do a 20,000 to win show. So me and Dave talked about it. I said, yeah. I said, do the math and see what we got to do to make this thing happen.
Was he talking about doing it at Winchester?
No.
Okay.
Just not even necessarily
Just
at
in general.
Fairfield, just somewhere.
Just in general.
Right.
Gotcha.
Just. I mean, let's face it. We need some bigger shows for these guys around this area because there's nothing around here that's huge for our style of stuff. So we kind of took the lead role in that. Bud Gray started the Hot Shoe 100 5 years ago, and now that's turned into something really big. So now we have 2 really big events for the modifieds. But what's cool about this, you gonna say something?
Yeah, why don't you give our listeners just a brief introduction into what the ICAR Modifieds are?
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. So, as of right now, they are a stock front clip car, meaning, most guys run Chevy clip, Impala or Chevelle, something like that. Open wheels, so as in there's no fenders on the front. The front tires are completely open, just like a sprint car or something would be. We run a 9-inch treaded tire. Most guys have around 400 horsepower on average, 400 to 500 horsepower. You can't use a lot of horsepower on those tires, so it helps keep the cost down.
Yeah.
You know.
How fast do you want to go?
So our listeners that are dirt oriented, they would be similar to a UMP modified,
right. Yeah.
That would obviously be changed around significantly to run on pavement.
Right. Sure.
I know they sit lower, and they sit really cool. They're really cool looking cars. Yeah.
Yeah, they resemble a dirt mod for sure. Obviously, the stance is different because of the setups, but yeah, cool cars. Some little small spoiler on the back doesn't really do anything. Just pretty much aesthetics. Cool. Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you for that.
So, yeah, but no, so me and Dave were talking, and I said, run the numbers. So he runs the numbers, and he's like, man, this is going to be awesome. But you got to know Dave. He's a way outside the box thinker.
Dave from Bearfield.
Yeah, Dave Mazzillo.
Dave Mazzillo that ran the grocery getter race. Yeah. So that explains a whole lot.
So he's like, how about this? He said, how about we run 100 laps on the 3/8 track and 100 lap feature on the half-mile track? I said, same day? He said, yeah. I said, that's a good idea. So the purse is split up. It's $20,000 to win if you can win both of those races. But whoever locks into the first race locks into the second race. We're not taking any add-ons. So if 5 guys wreck out of the first race and they can't fix their car to come back for the second race,
you're going to be short 5
we're only starting 25 cars, you know. But the cool thing is,
place money in the second. So
we're starting the race on the half mile, and then we're going to run the JEG CRA Allstar Tour. They're going to have a 100-lap show, so they're going to run that one. And then while the mods are back in the pits changing their gears and setups during that show, and then they'll come out after the JEGs are done and run the remaining 100 laps on the 3/8 mile track.
Now, do the ICAR guys, are they allowed quick changes? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
That'll make a whole lot nicer for them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was actually on the internet the other day, and there was some guys talking about it. They're like, we're looking for a quick change for sale. Like, I mean, you could do it, but it would be risky trying to change a rear end in that amount of time.
Well, with a 9-inch floater rear, you'd hear a lot of cuss words.
Right, yeah.
They'd get it done.
Yeah.
So this is the 20,000 Crown Jewel Modifieds at Bearfield.
July 4th weekend. The whole schedule is just packed. Wednesday, actually, let me look because I don't remember what day it is. July 4th, I don't even have what day it is. July 4th.
I have the 4th through the 7th.
Yeah. That's when the gates open at noon for the pit guys to come in. And campers, if you want to camp, call and reserve your spot because we have, put it this way, the whole place is going to be packed. Every square inch of that property will have something on it. So call and get your camp spot reserved. We're having a free cookout that night, fireworks, a band or DJ or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what he's getting yet, but just kind of a warm-up party for everyone, say thanks for coming out and kick it off right.
Nothing on the track that day?
Originally we said no, but we have everybody and our brother asking if they can practice on that day, so I'm going to go ahead and probably make an educated guess that there will be just an open practice on that day.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then July 5th, you guys street stock fans? You like street stocks? I love street stocks.
Oh, they put on some of the best racing.
I agree, Ron.
Pavement or dirt, it doesn't matter.
$5,000 to win for street stocks.
Ooh, baby.
Oh, I hope we have about 60 of them. Yeah. Unfortunate part is I'm not going to be able to be there on Saturday because I have to go with Outlaws to Berlin. So I'm going to miss one of the better shows I wanted to watch. But yeah, so we have street stocks. The CRS Truck Series is coming in. They race Saturday, July 6th. As I already said, the JEG CRA All-Stars Tour. We're having 10-inch rim late models run the 5th and the 6th.
There's a lot of racing going on.
That? Yeah, basically we have everything except for Outlaws and sprint cars. We have all the rest of the pavement divisions. Front-wheel drives.
So far.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? It could get more crazy. I don't know how, but it could, I suppose.
So
yeah.
what other tracks you got on the schedule there for? I mean, we got Flat Rock as part of their opener on the 28th of April.
Yep, going back to Flat Rock. As soon as we announced that race,
with the ICAR mods?
Yep, with the Modifieds. They haven't been there in a long time.
I was going to say, have they ever been there?
I think in the 90s they did go there, but I can't say for 100% sure.
Could be a good show.
It's going to be an awesome show. I went there last year and watched an Outlaw show, and it was 100 laps of nonstop intensity.
Right.
If you blink, you're missing half the show. I mean, it was crazy. So really excited to go back there. Birch Run, Auto City, the Crown Jewel at Bear Field, as I already just said. Winchester twice this year. They're only having 2 shows at Winchester this year, tentatively. There's some things going on there that need to get ironed out. And Lucas Oil Raceway. We go there twice. Last year, see, we were just talking, racing's coming up next month, March 30th and 31st.
Yeah.
Here we go. So last year it got iced out. They had like 3 inches of ice and 4 inches of snow down there or something. So
let's move on and talk a little bit about the Sprints on Dirt, which has primarily been, at least in my recent memory, a Michigan-based series.
Yep.
With Sean Villani in here last year, who won at least one of those races. What's on tap for the Sprints on Dirt this year, other than the finishing up at Bear Field on the dirt, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's for the Lipke Memorial there at the end. So we're trying to do the same thing based with all of our series. We want to be all over the tri-state. Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, you know.
Have you talked to Oakshade?
I do believe Dave did talk to somebody from Oakshade.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure what's going on there.
Yeah, Side used to be Side used to be a Brian.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
It could happen. I mean, honestly, for whatever reason this year, it seemed like everybody got their schedule out before PRI, and usually they don't come out till after. So.
Oakshade's not out yet, just saying.
Yeah.
Not all of it.
Saying.
Some of it.
Some of it, yeah.
I don't know, it was crazy. It was a rush this year. Everybody's asking way before we're used to getting them out. But no, so some new tracks that they're going to. Plymouth. I thought we had a Gas City show on here. I'm not seeing it on the schedule. Maybe not. That's the CRS Sprints.
I'm pretty sure you got a Gas City show.
I'll have to double check on that with you guys, but pretty much all the same tracks: Crystal, Hartford, Butler, Plymouth, and Bearfield. Looks like. So there's there was 12 or 15 shows on the schedule.
Now you have another series, the CRS Wing Sprints.
Yeah, so this class started originally just at Plymouth Speedway, a crate class. And
So they are dirt then?
Yes, yes, sir. Yep.
Non-wing?
Winged.
Okay.
The title, CRS Wing Sprints.
Oh, all right.
So
I don't listen to you.
I don't listen to me either. That's probably good advice.
So basically what we're trying to do with this class is make it a feeder class to the bigger series. So guys want to start getting into racing, but they're like, man, I don't have the money for an $8,000 or $12,000 motor or $15,000, however high up on the list you want to go. So they're running crate motors. Evan Jackson Racing's come on with us. He's going to do all the checks and refreshes and things like that, so he's fairly local.
What kind of engine rolls?
Straight up crate engine.
602, 604, 525.
602, I believe.
Steelhead?
It's always been a 602 at least.
Okay.
That's what it's been.
I'm pretty sure it is a 602.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not 100. I mostly deal with Outlaws
I'm pretty sure
and the
602
Modifieds.
Steelhead from what? Because you could get an engine for, what's the advertising?
3,800.
Yeah, it was right around $4,000.
Yeah, it was real economic.
Yeah, it was like $4,000.
This way guys can get into the sport, and then they already have the shocks and the chassis and stuff, so they run this for a couple years and say, okay, now I'm ready to go start playing with some of the bigger boys, so then all they need to do basically is go get a different motor, and they're ready to go. So kind of a cool deal. Got a lot of great feedback from it so far from the racers. Looking forward to watch this class grow the next couple of years.
What are some of the tracks on the schedule for this year? Easy for you to say.
Preliminary schedule says.
Primarily at Plymouth, which is where the class originated from. 2 shows at one of my favorite dirt tracks, Kokomo Speedway.
Uh-huh.
June 2nd and October 18th. Those are combined shows with...
Well, the October 18th at the Kokomo Clash.
Yeah, there's another sprint car class going to be there, though. I don't remember what it
June
is.
2nd?
They were talking about it the other day online. But anyways, and we have 2 shows at Gas City, May 17th and October 5th. So branching out a little bit, not too far from Plymouth since that's where it's at. But eventually, it would be cool to be able to try to tap into some Ohio tracks and maybe some Southern Michigan tracks.
So looking like, what, 6 or 8 shows for those, for the crate?
13 shows at Plymouth.
Oh, that's not bad.
14, 15, 16, 17.
Well, that's not bad.
We'll see.
And I think
That's a
there
good
might
season.
actually be one more being added to this.
That's a good
schedule.
Well,
season.
there's some tracks when Plymouth wasn't racing that added them last year and had some good car counts.
Yeah.
I know, like, what was it, Shady Hill or one of them up
Shady
there?
Hill Speedway.
One of them.
What's the new track going in down by Cincinnati?
Oh, yeah.
What's that new one called?
Edgewater or whatever that's supposed to be going in. That's been going in.
I know Dave
That
was
still could
talking
be
about
going in.
getting a show with those guys down there. I'm not sure what's happening or if the track's even there or whatever.
Well, the track's half there, but I don't think there's any fence or
So you can have
grandstands.
half a race then.
Yeah.
Well, before we get
Maybe
to
throw
Duane,
some snow down. And
Before we get to Duane, I want to get to Duane here and talk about the Attica Fremont Championship Series. One last question for you.
Sure.
Do you have an update on the Grocery Getter Classic? How are things going? How are entries for the race this fall?
Great. That race was received way beyond what we even comprehended it would. I mean,
Yeah, we had Duane in
everyone
here
was
to talk
pumped,
about
right?
it after the last fall, and he was like, "Yeah, it was pretty cool."
I mean, there's some issues that happened. Nothing super major, but we had
You ruined his lunch, as I recall.
right. My shoulder still hurts from my crash.
I thought he was hurt. I jumped out of the tower and went down the flag stand. Was getting ready to throw the red flag, and then I saw him start moving. But yeah, no,
I figured
Grocery
out where I
Getter.
was. I didn't know I was backwards in the track. I was like, oh, wow.
That was nasty.
How'd that happen?
Yeah, the Grocery Getter, that was just an absolutely amazing event. If you guys want to have some fun and you don't want to spend a bunch of money to do it, check out the Grocery Getter.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. That's
What's
fun.
the date of that this year?
The date of the Grocery Getter Classic is September 19th through the 22nd.
Yes.
And for those of you that don't know what it is, if you haven't heard before,
Wait, now it's 3 days?
well, it was last year.
Yeah. Unload and spec.
You unload
Gotcha,
the day
okay.
before, and then the race starts Saturday and then Sunday.
That's the best thing we did was unload and inspect on Friday.
Yeah. This year, we're going to try to inspect as many cars as we can on Thursday because we're expecting pretty close to probably the full entry.
Any idea where you're at as far as number of entries so far?
Around 50 right now, I think. I really honestly
Not a bad
haven't
start.
been
You got
pushing
quite a
it.
while until race happens.
I've
so.
I've really been pushing the Crown Jewel right now. The Grocery Getter will be next on the list of things to push.
Now, there's other tracks that are doing similar things to the Grocery Getter.
Yeah, we were just
class,
talking
so.
about that earlier.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Atomic Memorial.
Atomic, that's the
there
one I
you
was
go.
thinking of, yeah.
And then I know Birch Run Speedway up in Michigan, they're doing one too.
Really?
So it's
Is that flattering to have other tracks saying, "Hey, that was pretty cool. We're going to do that too," or is that
I don't-
you guys are copying off of
no,
us?
no. This is how we operate. Whether somebody copies one of our ideas or uses anything, we don't care. We want racing to be better, period. If these other tracks make a bunch of money off of it and gain a bunch more fan interest for what we do on Saturday nights, then that is perfect. Every track in the country should do it if it helps out what we do on Saturday
Well,
nights.
that's affordable, for one.
Yeah.
I mean, you can take a car, and I mean, we had less than $500 in one of the car and $1,000 in the other,
Yeah. It's cheap.
and made most of our
Fun.
money back.
So let's talk to you, Duane. Before we get into the details of things here, the first
Yes.
question I had when I heard about the Attica Fremont Championship Series, which you started, right? This is your baby.
Well, kind of. It's I'm the series director.
Okay.
It's Rex Lejeune and John Boers from Attica. I mean, it's their idea.
Okay. Well, the first
So-
question that I had was is this replacing the Fast Series? I know the
Well-
answer, but I'm going to ask.
It's yeah, basically. I mean, Fast is
That's not the answer I thought.
it's not replacing the Fast. I mean, Fast is a regional series now,
Yeah.
traveling all over. So this is the new thing. I like, it's
For just Fremont and Attica.
yes, just Fremont and Attica. It'll be a Fremont and Attica thing forever. as long as I'm the series director.
And that's how Fast started out.
Yes, exactly. So it's not really replacing Fast. It's just the new thing because Fast left town.
It's kind of like a reboot.
Exactly. You reboot the
2.0.
There you go.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, it's same principle. Attica Fremont only. Fast started travel a little bit, and some things going on there. Then with Aaron Fry and that taking it, which Aaron had the Boss Wing deal, and that was going good for him, and an opportunity to do the Fast deal. So, which it's going to be good because I'm friends with Aaron and Elizabeth and them to run the Fast deal, and we've talked a lot, and we really don't step on each other's toes too much. And the All-Stars, we've talked with them too, and it's working out pretty good. Everybody's trying to work together and make a great deal out of it.
We want to do some stuff with SOD, with the whatever you call it, AFC.
Yes.
Whatever you guys call it.
Yes.
Too many abbreviations.
But yes, and it's and we got some good people that came on board. Kistler, it's the Kistler Race Products All-Pro Cylinder Heads Attica Fremont Championship 410 Series presented by Ballman Auto Group, and the K&S Sales and Service Attica Fremont Championship 305 Series presented by Jason Dietz Trailer Sales. So we got some good people backing it. Got a lot of sponsors coming on board, and got some new ones that's never even been involved with Attica and Fremont. We have a neighbor of mine, speaking of Bryan Speedway, he used to take some pictures of that out there, Jack Fortney, big sprint car fan. He's a neighbor of mine. He goes, hey, he says, are you going to do a hard charger deal? I said, yeah. I said, if I find a sponsor, I'd like to. So we have just announced last week the Jack's All Out Award. Every night we have 18 410 shows. Hard charger award is going to be $100 each night for the 410s, and we got 14 305 shows and $50 in the hard charger award for the 305s. Thanks to Jack Fortney, it's going to be the Jack's All Out Award, he's calling it.
That will be to the driver that passes the most cars for the evening.
Yes.
Is that just in the feature?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, this is just a race fan. He don't have a business or whatever. He just,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, he wants to help out. So that's got a lot of play last week. I mean, got a lot of drivers, especially 305 drivers.
Well, I'll bet.
They're like, man, that's awesome, and that's what that's what I want to do with this series. I mean, we got a lot of people on board. We have 8 $4,000 win 410 shows right now. And we got $6,000 to win 305 shows right now. And one thing that I instituted was try to get some sponsors. I mean, just not for the year-end
I
series.
should have
point
you
fund.
get sponsors for this show.
Yeah, there you go.
He can do it. This guy knows everybody in the sprint car world.
But like 6 of those is all because of Spanky's Pizza in Cary, Ohio. Because I'm selling weekend sponsors for that. It's like, well, let's think about this. We have points series deal, but as Ron and you as a racer, you'd probably like some extra money during the middle of the season too. Or
Yeah.
it's nice to have some money. It's like, why don't we get some sponsors to jump on board and put that money into some of these races too during the season? So we're still having the, right now the year-end season points deal is shaping up really well, and we're still taking on sponsors, getting some product sponsors last few days. And this thing's going to be pretty big. We're going to announce a points fund once it gets closer. Our first race is
That was going to be my question. So
Friday, April 12th at Attica, and Saturday, April 13th at Fremont. And that's the thing. We have 18 410 races, and they're on 8 of them's back-to-back weekends.
are they evenly split then between
Yes.
Attica and Fremont?
Yes. So it'll be Attica Friday night and Fremont on Saturday night. So you'll have, May 3rd and 4th is our first $4,000 weekend. Then May 17th and 18th, June 7th and 8th, and July 26th and 27th. But the feedback on this for some of these guys, the one we announced some $4,000 win shows, Attica and Fremont back to back. That's $8,000 to win, not travel too far. And some of the guys that are interested in that is pretty interesting, looking at other series schedules. And
That's what I was going to ask. Are you pulling away maybe? Keeping some people at home with this? Or?
Well, hopefully.
How deep is that pond?
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea to keep local racing strong. That's the whole idea of this. And some teams can't afford to go out, and your teams that want to travel a regional series, There's a series out there for them to do that, and this one we want to keep 410 and 305 sprint car racing strong in the area because the 305s was kind of the ones treated like the redheaded stepchild. I mean, they're only going to be a thing for them, our bonus deal. I mean, just the track points.
Corey wants to know, Corey McCoy. Truck racer.
Oh, yeah, I know Corey.
He's like, what about the trucks? How come there's not like a Fremont truck series?
Well, I don't know.
Now sounds like a good opportunity.
Sounds like you got enough sponsors there.
Or, maybe one of these days. Right. I don't know.
Before time gets away from us, Scott, let's talk about the Hoserville benefit at the Woodland Mall.
Yes.
Tell us what Hoserville, Ohio is all about.
It'll be our 16th year. Hoserville, Ohio is a registered 501c3 nonprofit group. We help injured race car drivers that get injured throughout the season or different things, tracks. As we all know, a lot of local racers are local racers, and sometimes their insurance isn't the best. Sometimes it's all right, but they're someone's off work 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It all depends. So,
do the racers have to be like a member of anything, or
nope.
It's just you help out anybody?
No, and it's open for we helped. One that comes to mind is one of the coolest stories of this because we started out kind of a sprint car deal, and then we made it a lot bigger than that because we grew. We started out, we had a very small pot of money to start out with, and it's not like we got huge money now, but the pot has grew. But Art Baugh got hurt there one time when he with the trucks at Attica, and he was out for a long time and was, didn't have we helped Art, and he came up one time and he just had a big speech. He goes, and somebody at Art is kind of like you, Ron. I mean, he's been everywhere,
been around the block a few times,
just won several races, well respected, and he's like, this is one of the best things that's happened to me in my career. Somebody like this help me, out like that.
Now, what's the format for the benefit?
Well, what we do is a live auction. Right now it's scheduled from 3 to 5. We have Jay Feather and Gill from Attica, Ohio.
On the Saturday part.
March 16th.
Yes, March 16th
at the Woodland Mall.
Yep, right as part of the car show. We set up all day, and we usually have anywhere from 70 to 100 items. We take anything. A lot of used race car parts.
If somebody wanted to donate, how could they do that?
Yes.
Just bring them there?
Yep, you can bring them there. You can contact me at 419-553-6746, or we got a Hoserville, Ohio Facebook page. You can contact there. Greg Smith that lives in Tiffin. He works at a brake shop there in Findlay. He helps me out. Tyler Perry here. He helps me out last year, and he's stepped up and helped out. And Kevin Binford in Attica, Ohio, he helps us out too. So that's part of the Turn 2 party. But
what kind of donations would you be looking for from racers? If obviously we have a lot of racers listening.
Oh yeah, we've had anything from wing side panels of race car or sprint cars to doors from late models, modifieds to roofs to
helmets,
die
casts,
autographed driver's gloves, helmet visors.
Okay.
We've had every driver's uniforms, shoes. I mean, we've had everything. Heck, we've had an autographed piston. That's
really?
Came out. Oh yeah, we've had just when you think you've seen everything that you think you could have, we've got something else.
What's sold for the most out of anything that you guys have auctioned
a Sammy Swindell autographed helmet went for almost $3,000 a couple years ago. Last year we had a Tyler Walker wing panel
that I was very upset that I did not get the winning bid on.
Yeah, and that went for $1,000. And actually, it was Danny Dietrich. He was racing in Pennsylvania, and his crew chief was live on the phone bidding with us to bidding it, and he won that.
Hey, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but just to let you know, if I'm with you, you need to point him out to me so that I can go get my ring.
There you go. But we take credit cards, debit cards. Like I said, all the money. We're a nonprofit group, so if you donate your item, we can give you tax papers. We've had everything. I mean, pictures. We have a lot of pictures from area photographers. Rick Shear does a great job for us. I know he's got a Jason Johnson collage for us this year. Then he usually does some... I think a lot of local racers and some, regional racers. Wayne Rigo usually gets us some autographed IndyCar pictures.
Steve Miller says he has a door for you. Hopefully it's not still covered with mud, though.
Awesome.
It's been raining on it the last couple of days.
Okay, so it's good.
And one thing we got going on with this, I ought to mention, something new that we started last year, because last year was our 15th year. So actually, a race car driver, Caleb Griffith, he got hurt here a while back, and we helped him. And he's like, man, he says, I was maybe on the verge of not being able to make my truck payment. And that's what we do. I mean, we want to help the racer so you don't lose your truck or lose your house, or you can feed your kids or whatever. I mean, we had a guy when we first started a long, long time ago. He's a family guy. I had 3 kids, and he crashed, and he didn't work for almost 4 weeks. And we sent him a check and goes, you know what that did? He says, that bought groceries for my family while I was off
That's
work.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so, yeah, it is, and you don't realize how much. I mean, that guy still to this day. That was almost 15 years ago. I don't care where I'm at. As a matter of fact, last weekend he texted me just out of the blue. Hey, I hope you're doing good. Congratulations on the series. Hope to see you at Lawrenceburg for the USAC opener, because he lives down in that way.
All right.
But yeah. So, anyways, what we instituted. Cool. Caleb Griffith asked me. He retired from racing, but rumor is he's coming back this year. But young kid, and he goes, "Hey," he says, "have you ever thought about doing an insurance policy like Stita?"
Right.
And he goes, "I'd be interested in helping you buy one." Well, I contacted Stita, and it was our 15th year last year, so they gave us 3 policies, and we gave $500,000 each of the racers insurance. So we gave away $1.5 million worth of racing insurance. Well, they came back on board this year, but we got 2 of them. So we got 2 $500,000 racing insurance policies. Wow. And how are we doing this? Any driver, I don't care if it's a street stock driver, truck driver, late model driver, NASCAR driver, sprint car driver, donates an item, you get an entry. And we pull one of the $500,000 policies out of that. And the second way is come to the auction. We'll have all the drivers that attend the auction, we'll put in a can, and we'll pull out, and a driver in attendance will win one too. And if you donate an item and attend, you get an entry in both. Wow. And last year, with the third one we did, was if you donated a helmet or a driver's uniform or something bigger, we did a special drawing for that. So
Ron might have an old ARCA car. He could.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So what we're going to do, if somebody donates a big item like that, we'll give them 2 entries in the donation deal if you get a big one. An ARCA car, and we might give you 3. I mean, it's tax write-off. We got papers.
I've got a couple of them up there for sale. So.
And if you're a local fan too it's primarily dirt stuff, and I'm actually trying to implement this stuff in the next couple of seasons throughout our deal. We've been talking about it. I want this thing to be big. Let's face it, guys get hurt every weekend at some track somewhere.
Well, yeah, and we help pavement guys, mini sprint drivers. We've helped a couple mini sprint drivers at Waynesfield that's got hurt.
Now, do you help anybody outside Ohio?
Yes, we have. Like Lance DeWeese one time.
Okay.
He broke his back, and we helped him. And 3 years in a row, we got a Lance DeWeese driver's uniform for the auction. So yeah, we help. Last year, actually, it happened last year, a year ago yesterday, when Brad Loyette almost lost his hand in a shop accident. Ruined his racing career. He raced his final race or laps at the Chili Bowl. Young guy, 31 years old or whatever, but he wanted to come back and at least race one race. And I met him at the Chili Bowl. I never met the guy in my life. And, we sent him a little bit of money, and he's like, man, you just don't know what that means. So we do that to a lot of people. We started out as just an Ohio deal, and we try to base it just Ohio deal, but if there's a racer in need and you really hear of it, we usually try to send something. Or we've done different things, like Tyler Hirschberger, mini sprint driver from Waseon, Ohio. Well, he moved up to Michigan now, but he got burnt real bad last year, and his dad got a hold of me and says, hey, we're getting some T-shirts made. I got somebody to donate them. Will you help us sell them? So we sold them at Attica and Fremont and different places and some different things. So, we help in that way, too, try to raise some money for these people. And
you take cash donations, too?
Yep, cash donations, credit check, credit card.
So the auction coming up in Bowling Green, Woodville Mall, March 16th. It's a Saturday afternoon. Starts at 2 o'clock and goes until...
Well, yeah, we usually go 2 hours. We're starting at 3 o'clock.
Is it 3 o'clock?
3 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 to 5. Waynesfield's supposed to race that day now. So we're trying to...
On March 16th?
Yes. They're supposed to race that day with the NRA Sprints. So we are trying to work with them, see what time they're starting, and try to get people to both places. But our auctioneers, we've done this as our 16 year. First 2 years, we didn't know that we legally had to have an auctioneer, so we didn't do an auction. If anybody's listening, no. So from year 3 on, they've donated their time. Jay Featheringill from Attica and Fred Wolf from the Fremont area, and they do an excellent job. I mean, they don't mess around. They have fun. They make
fun
it
to
fun.
listen to too. I got to listen to them last year for the first time. That was awesome.
They get people in it, and they'll get people bidding more. And Fred will take $5 bill out of his pocket and say, "Here, this guy just bid $5 more." And they make it fun. I mean, a lot of fun. And so yeah. And if nothing else, and another thing we try to pride ourselves on, we have an item whether you can donate $2 or $2 million. I mean, we got some little things because there's some people that. Well, why do we go to that auction? Every one of those we go to, everything goes for $300, $400, $500, or $200, or $100. I guarantee you, we'll have items go for $2 and $3
to bring the kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, because we get a lot of T-shirts and stuff too. And
Scott, as long as we're talking about benefits, I don't know if all of our listeners have heard that Donovan and Becky Paskin had a fire, destroyed their house.
I had shared the GoFundMe thing on our Hammer Down Racing Report.
No insurance at all.
I guess the car's gone too.
He still has his race car, but everything that bolted in it is gone. He did some body work out of his house, and a couple of cars with very little or no insurance are gone. But anyway, Donovan and Becky, it's been really tough. He stopped by the shop this week, and he wanted me to thank everybody that had given or offered to give them anything, and let them know that it's really, really appreciated. And this is from me now, not from Donovan, but if there's any way you can help them, you can get a hold of the folks at Oakshade. They can put you in touch with Donovan. Get a hold of Ron Miller Race Cars. Anything you can do. They left the house with nothing.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So, we're racers, and racers help racers.
That is a fact.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
For sure.
All right. Well, back to Hoserville, Ohio. You can follow that on Facebook for more information.
Facebook, Twitter.
If you get a hold of Dwayne, if you have something you want to donate, go to the auction March 16th. The Attica Fremont Championship Series for the 410s, 305s. That has a... there was a website, but there's nothing there yet.
Working on a website.
Follow them on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook,
was it
Twitter.
AFCS?
AFCS. AFCS.
Too many letters.
Attica Fremont
Championship.
AFCS Sprints.
Okay.
Is what it is. And
on Facebook.
Yep, and Gmail's AFCS Sprints at Gmail. Like I said, if you're interested in helping the series out, we're definitely looking for some more marketing partners. We got some neat things going on, and one thing I want to do is I want to do some things at like the drivers' meetings too. One thing I'm planning on instituting is, I don't care if it's a case of brake clean, I want to try to get something at each drivers' meeting giveaway to the members, poll, there's a case of brake clean, case of water, pit pass for the next race. Stuff like that. I got some people that's wanting to help that. Actually, some of our series sponsors jumped on board, and they're like, well, if you're going to do something like that, maybe we'll do some pit passes, or we'll do this. And so I want to make that. We got the bigger money shows and the hard charger deal for anybody that shows up, but I want to do some things for the paid members of the series, and do some things like that to help out through the year. And so far, that's been received real well by the racers. And
excellent.
And I'm sure
that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm sure guys like Ron could appreciate some stuff like that.
And Tyler, all your series, they all have Facebook pages. What's the best way to follow, keep up to date on the Main Event Outlaw Tour, the International, the ICAR Allstar Modifieds, Sprints on Dirt?
I have a Facebook page for everything other than the Thunder Roadsters at the moment, and I'm sure there will be one for those soon. Like I said, we're starting to work the Twitter. I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel this summer once we get some footage at the tracks and stuff, and Snapchat, maybe Instagram for sure. I already have an Instagram for the Outlaws and the Modifieds, so just look around, type in ICAR.
Make sure you use all the special filters.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. For sure. We're all over the internet. It's not hard to find. If you find one of our divisions, you'll find us somehow.
Just Google it.
Or just look me up. That's what everybody else does.
Guys, thanks for coming in. Tyler Perry, Duane Hancock. A lot of
thanks for having
going on between you two.
Oh, yeah, a lot of series. And, man, I'm just thankful for everybody that it looked like there wasn't going to be a series like this around the region for the 410 and 305s. And right now it's alive, and I'm going to say going to be more exciting than it has been in years.
And racing season is just around the corner. I have some dates of some openers here.
That's
coming up.
Crazy, Scott.
Before we get to that, I forgot to finish something I want to talk about with the Mid-Michigan trip last weekend.
Okay.
And riding with Steve.
Yeah.
He's got that big trailer, enclosed trailer.
Yeah.
And towing it with his vehicle, which seems to have very soft suspension.
The Chevy Tahoe was...
and no sway bar.
Right.
Ooh.
Well, I guess going up there, it wasn't
bad at all.
Wasn't bad.
It just is a little wobbly back and forth. But on the way back, we had some death wobbles from 70 miles an hour that we had to slow down to like 40. And luckily, nobody was beside us.
Hit the trailer brake.
Yeah. He did have trailer brake. But I got in bed later that night, and I'm laying there, and I could swear I was back and forth.
It's like being on
Obviously, if he was going 70, he didn't follow my suggestion on coming back down 223 to 127.
No, I don't. We took the highways.
No,
you can go 70 on those, right? Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I've heard.
But we made it back alive, so it was all good.
Well, and he and I talked about that, and I think it probably had a lot to do with the six or 700 pounds of additional weight on the back of the trailer that took all the tongue weight off.
Yep. I'd say you're probably right, Ron.
So some upcoming racing events, of course, the 30th Annual Woodland Mall Race Cars on Display in Bowling Green, Friday, March 15th through Sunday, March 17th. We're going to do a special show there that Friday night, Facebook Live, starting, I think it's at 7, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You lucky folks get us twice that week.
What's that?
I think it's at 7.
Yeah. We'll be
Thursday and
interviewing
Friday.
all the drivers. Yeah, 2 shows that week. Sorry. And I guess Waynesville, I didn't realize Waynesville was running that, and I hadn't seen that
on
yet.
the 16th with NRA sprints, and not sure what else.
If it's not snowing, you know what the track record is for
that's
the
very
Woodland
true,
Mall Car
but
Show.
it's our auction day, and we only do it one time a year, so it'll probably be 80 and sunny.
Last year it was hot.
Yeah, we've never had any competition. So
the following week is opening night at Attica Raceway Park. It's construction equipment and supply / advanced drainage systems nights, Friday, March 22nd, with a rain date of Saturday, March 23rd. 410 sprints, late models, 305 sprints. Is that a Attica Fremont?
No, first one is going to be April 12th, but I will be there selling memberships and hopefully passing out sticker pass.
And hopefully it won't be snowing.
I hope not.
Okay. Toledo Speedway kicks things off with the Ross Mortgage Spring 200 presented by PNC Bank. That's Saturday, April 20th. ARCA Late Model Gold Cup Series, 100 laps. ARCA CRA Super Series Late Models, also running 100 laps. Put those together, you get 200 laps, thus the Ross Mortgage Spring 200. Practice for that Saturday, qualifying and on-track autograph session, 1:30, racing at 3. I'm not sure why. They're going to qualify, then they're going to have on-track, racing at 3. Not really sure what I kind of didn't.
I seen that it started like at 3 because it's an afternoon.
That way they don't have to turn the lights on.
Right.
Yeah. Eldora Speedway kicks off their 66th season on Saturday, April 27th with an American Late Model Series show, $5,000 to win for that. The NRA Sprint Invaders, Dirt Car UMP Modifieds, and Eldora Stocks will all be in action. General admission tickets are $19. Reserve tickets, $24. Flat Rock Speedway, talked a little bit about that earlier. They kick off with the Motor City 200 Sunday, April 28th with CRA JEG Series late models running 100 laps. The CRA Junior Late Model Series is 25 laps. That's that new series we talked about a few weeks ago.
Oh, I think they're going to be at the Crown Jewel, too, by the way.
The Junior Late Models?
Yeah, I think so.
The ICAR Allstar Modifieds, 75 laps, also there as well. So that'll be, like you said, first time that you can remember.
It's going to be a show.
Yeah. You can hear Tyler announce that.
And that's
you can hear me try to announce.
Wait, you're announcing?
I announced all last year.
Okay. Well,
the mods
for
and
those guys, you're going to oust Gary Lindahl?
I announced with Gary.
Oh, okay.
Which
Okay.
was amazing.
All right, then. Racing starts at 2 o'clock for that show at Flat Rock on the 28th of April. Also, I didn't put on here, Oakshades opener is that night as well.
April 27th.
No, you're right.
28th.
The night before. No, that is the 27th. 28th is Sunday. Saturday, the 27th, Oakshade Raceway, Bill Reckner Memorial, Sportsman, Bombers, and Compacts. Lima Land.
Who's going to be announcing for that?
I don't know. Lima Land season opening shootout Friday, May 3rd. NRA Sprint Invaders Modified Stocks pits open at 4:30. Grandstands 5 racing at 7:30, and that's pretty much it. Thanks to Dave Kemmer for helping out with the late breaking news and everything else. And I do believe we have a guest for next week lined up that just sent me a message a little bit ago.
Really?
I think Ron.
Oh, Honda Ron?
Honda Ron.
All right.
So we got to work out the details.
This will be an interesting show. Ron is a road racer, and he has had a long time business of renting out race cars. So
he rents them out.
Yep.
Do they come back in one piece?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Huh.
So
Sounds like fun.
It'll be interesting. So if you want to be a race car driver, but you don't want to own your own race car, maybe you can just rent one.
Make sure you tune in next week to find out how it works.
I will.
For show
like
number
good.
70.
That's right. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, check out our new YouTube channel, listen to us on iHeartRadio, Google, iTunes. I already said YouTube. Am I missing one? We're everywhere. We're omnipotent. HammerdownRacingReport.com has all the information there as well. Thanks again to Ron Miller Race Cars. Make sure to contact him for that Valentine's Day gift.
That's it.
Right? Tires, everything. 734-856-7223. That's 856-RACE. Also, you can get a hold of him if you want to help out with Becky and Donovan Paskins.
Yes, please do.
A helmet and driver's uniform. See, if you have a loved one on Valentine's Day, you should buy him a helmet or a driver's uniform.
That's
Yeah.
Gloves.
On device.
Yeah, see?
Something.
Yeah, then they can donate their old ones to Dwayne's Hoserville, Ohio.
There we go.
It's circular.
What a deal. I see this coming together.
So
Works out.
And if anybody needs any information, anything we talked about tonight, all your alphabet soup of different series,
Yes.
The Attica Fremont Championship Series, the Hoserville Ohio, you can always contact me or Ron through the Hammer Down Racing Report page.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
that's it.
Number 69's in the can.
So we're moving up to 70 next week, right?
Woo.
No more 69 jokes.
Oh, I didn't know we were allowed to do those on air. I was trying to think of some all day.
Tune in next week, 7 o'clock, Hammer Down Racing Report, back in action, live on Facebook. Until then, have a great week.
Yeah, please do.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio. Listen on demand on iHeartRadio.